He's the hero with the shot. To me, Paul's the hero with the pass.
The heroics of Ray Allen and Paul Pierce bringing us to game number 2. Celtic fans ecstatic about their team's dramatic turnaround in the second half Sunday night. Again, a packed house at the TD Garden here in Boston as the NBA playoffs continue on TNT. It is the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics moments away from game 2 of this opening round series. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Steve Kerr. We'll be joined in a moment by David Aldridge. Chauncey Billups, as mentioned during the course of the pregame show, will sit it out with that strained left knee. So the second-year player out of Florida State, Tony Douglas, will start. As for the Celtics, Shaquille O'Neal continues to be sidelined with a strained calf, but Jermaine O'Neal comes off that stellar performance Sunday night.
Well, if Jermaine continues to play the way he did in game 1, Shaq can take his time because Jermaine was phenomenal. And he's given Boston a shot-blocking presence that they don't normally have.
Celtics controlling the opening tip. The officiating crew, Joey Crawford, Bennett Salvatore, and Michael Smith. Doc Rivers telling us earlier, yes, we were very fortunate to win. And Boston turns it over on their first possession. Doc saying we did not get into their bodies. We did not pressure them. We just got off the body too much.
Yeah, their mindset is normally to be very aggressive as Landry Fields is going to get a couple of free throws here. But I think that sometimes happens in game 1 of a series. There's maybe a little less of a sense of urgency, particularly for the favorite. And we've seen a lot of the favorites, the 1 and 2 seeds, and the 3 seeds struggle, either losing or struggling through difficult games early on this year.
Landry Fields, the rookie out of Stanford, played 19 minutes in game 1, 0 for 3 from the field, and since the trade with Denver bringing Carmelo Anthony to New York, Landry Fields has not been the same player, more in the flow prior to the trade.
Yeah, it was the previous team was a team that ran a lot more, and I think he fit in a little bit better. Still a terrific player, one of the best rebounding guards in the NBA. A couple of misses on the free throw line to start out with, and that's not good. He needs to see the ball go through the hoop for some confidence.
Fields did have an excellent first half of the season. Here's played by Anthony as a wide open Garnett. Rebounded by Fields.
Well, right away we're seeing Boston get a little more movement and motion than they got in game 1 in the first half as Stoudemire flies through the air, and New York will retain possession. But Doc Rivers told us before the game he felt like the Celtics pounded the ball inside too much in the first half the other night, and they need to get that motion and force New York's defense to try to rotate more than one time.
Doc saying, I thought we were ready game 1, but we did not play well, particularly in that first half. Here is Fields, nice dish off to Kuriak, rebounded by Garnett.
How about Jermaine O'Neal again protecting the rim?
Rondo, who will continue to get the wide open looks, hit his shot in the first half the other night, but the team did not have its usual cohesion because he was taking jump shots.
Yeah, well, when he's shooting, that means Ray Allen and Paul Pierce are not. And I think the Celtics lose their flow as a result.
Minute and a half gone by with no score as Rondo drives and draws the foul.
And this is when Boston is at its best. I mean, they're not the prototypical fast-breaking team. They're not Phoenix. You know, they're not going to run up and down all game. But when they get out in transition and Rondo can penetrate, he's either going to get to the free throw line or score a layup or find Ray Allen and Paul Pierce for trailing three-pointers in transition, and that's when Boston really gets going.
Rondo only a 57% free throw shooter. He was fouled by Douglas. Mike D'Antoni telling us it will be combinations of Tony Douglas and Anthony Carter in the absence of Chauncey Billups. Meanwhile, the other night, Rondo coming close to a triple-double.
Yeah, it's almost nightly. I mean, just the way he plays. He's a terrific rebounder. He's got those long arms, and he handles the ball 90% of the time in this offense. So he's always going to have high assist numbers.
Pass too strong. Stoudemire trying to hit the cutting Fields. Looks like they're trying to get Fields involved early.
Well, they're going to need him. You know, with Billups out, that shortens the bench rotation. So you've got Douglas starting. Fields will be asked to play more minutes, and it's important for him to get off to a good start.
Garnett facing up on Turiaf. Now here's the double as Fields came over. Rebounded by Anthony. The outlet to Fields with Pierce back. Nice move. Landry Fields with his first playoff field goal.
New York with 2 fast break points in game 1. 2 for a Mike D'Antoni team. That's stunning. And so I agree with the guys in the studio. We heard Charles and Kenny talk about the fact that Douglas is actually a better fast break option than Chauncey Billups. I think New York can push the tempo a little bit tonight.
Here's Pierce off of that three-point attempt. Tony Douglas, originally a first-round pick of the Los Angeles Lakers, and traded to the Knicks. Nice move right there.
And that's what we're talking about. I mean, he's got the speed that Billups doesn't have, and that's critical because if New York has to play against Boston's half-court defense all game, they're in big trouble.
3 minutes in, this is a pitcher's duel here at the start. Pierce is stopped, kept alive. Here is O'Neal blocked. Good play by Carmelo Anthony. 3 on the shot clock. The Celtics here at the start, 0 for their first 6.
Well, O'Neal was 6 for 6 the other night, but Carmelo Anthony making sure he doesn't start off with a make here in game 2.
Rondo looking to inbound, could not find anybody, just did get it in. Garnett has to fire one up.
Well, we saw this the other night, Marv, in the first half. New York's defense was really good in the first half, and they're always pretty good at the point of attack as Fields is way off on the 3.
Here comes Rondo going right at Douglas. Douglas stepped away, and Rondo with the scoop.
And that's the problem for New York. Bad shots or turnovers leads to that one-man fast break with Rondo. So the Knicks have to execute offensively, and it'll help them at the other end.
Anthony thought he was fouled. Here comes Rondo. Rondo again down the lane.
He's unbelievable, isn't he? In transition.
Boston missed its first 7 from the field. They now lead it 5-4. Here's Douglas with the runner. Rebounded by Garnett. Rondo again on the move. Douglas back. Rondo. Rebounded by Anthony. The other night, Carmelo was already sitting down after picking up the 2 early fouls, then came back on and shot well, did not shoot well, obviously, in the second half. Here's Turiaf getting inside, and he lost the grip. He was fouled, but he lost the handle. That should have been a possible 3-point situation.
Well, Marv, I talked about New York's defense, and in the half court on post-ups, they've been pretty good, but in transition, there's not a whole lot they can do with Rondo running the ball right to the rim. And that's why it's so important for New York to take care of the ball, to take good shots. You know, we saw it the other night in game 1 when Boston was struggling. It was because they were in the half court constantly.
Foul on O'Neal. Turiaf only a 63% free throw shooter. As we take a look at the upcoming national TV schedule. NBA TV tomorrow, Memphis at San Antonio meeting in game 2. ESPN Friday, it'll be the continuation of the Knicks and Celtics as they move over to Madison Square Garden in New York, and the Lakers playing at New Orleans in game 3. ABC Sunday, Miami, Philly, and Boston at New York. Knicks up 6-5. It's game 2 of this best of 7. Allen, yes. Ray Allen has given the Celtics the 1-point lead. And what has to please Ray Allen most about the other night, that he was able to get shots off. And that had been a problem for the last 4 or 5 weeks, as Anthony's able to curl in with a beautiful shot.
Well, going back to Allen, Marv, he didn't even take a field goal in the first quarter. As Rondo gets all the way to the rim again. But you're right, Allen eventually found his groove in the second half, and that was critical, obviously hitting the game-winning jumper.
Stoudemire and Anthony looking at each other off that last drive by Rondo, who has certainly had his way getting to the rim. Defensive 3-second violation is called. That'll put Carmelo Anthony at the line. Carmelo in game 1, 5 for 18. committed that late offensive foul, which he did not agree with. And Mike D'Antoni was right there with that opinion. And that led to the game winner by Ray Allen. And then he attempted a final shot instead of driving to draw the foul or look for a closer attempt.
I thought he settled a lot. He took 8 3-point shots, and he only went to the free throw line 4 times. And those numbers should be reversed if you're Carmelo. I mean, he's one of the strongest players in the league. He's got to get on the move and towards the rim in tonight's game.
Paul Pierce coming over with the rejection of Douglas. Rondo with the finish.
9 fast break points for the Celtics in what, 5.5 minutes. I mean, this is a team that may not get 9 fast break points in an entire game in the regular season.
Here is Stoudemire. Garnett rebound. Fields went down. 5-on-4 for the Celtics as Rondo was actually fouled twice. Did not like the hack from Turiaf after the initial foul on him.
But Rondo has nothing to be upset about. If it's a continuation play, then Turiaf is making the right move here. Because if there's a foul called, Turiaf has to stop the play. Otherwise, Rondo's going to make the bucket and get a free throw.
Foul committed by Douglas, so that's 2 on Douglas, and it appears he will take a seat. Anthony Carter off the bench. So Rondo back at the line.
Luxury for Mike D'Antoni to have Anthony Carter, who isn't going to wow you statistically, but this guy has pretty much seen it all in the NBA. Ask George Karl about it. Remember when the trade was made, one of the things George Karl said was, man, I hated to see AC go. He had such a soft spot for Carter. Carter had played pretty much every possible role for the Nuggets over the years. Backup, starter, sometimes player, sometimes just the 12th man. But he's a pro, and he can get the Knicks into their offense.
Began his NBA career with Miami, was not drafted after a season in the old CBA, and then spent 4 years with the Heat. Shot clock is down to 5. Good job here by the Celtics. Stoudemire forced it up, rebound. Allen slapped away. Good play by Fields, by Turiaf. Fields with the steal, and then comes up with the bucket.
And that's his game. You know, he's not going to make a lot of long-distance shots, although he can hit the 3. But he's just scrappy. He's one of those guys who will get loose balls and rebounds and make plays for you.
Pierce to the cutting O'Neal. Here's Garnett. Not pretty, but they'll take it. Boston up by 3. The Knicks during the regular season, 42-40, number 6 in the Eastern Conference. Anthony rejected. Kept alive by Carter. Here's Carter with a runner. Trying to go glass. Rebounded by Garnett. Here's the outlet. Rondo ahead of the field. Rondo against. What a start for Rajon Rondo. 12 points, 5 of 7 from the field. The Knicks take a timeout with just under 5 remaining in this opening quarter.
12 points, I think, all right at the rim. I mean, it's been a one-man fast break for the Celtics. Rajon Rondo just running the ball up the Knicks' throats.
Now to an enormously popular new feature introduced the other night that has created a great deal of buzz in Steve's household.
Yeah, thank you. Well, Knicks have to rebound. They got outboarded by 10 the other night. Already it's 12-7 in Boston's favor tonight. Fast break points 10-2 in favor of Boston the other night. It's 12-2 already for Rondo and the Celtics. And you know, the thing with New York, I mean, when they're at their best, they're spacing the floor, they're shooting the ball, they're in a flow. And since the start of that second half the other day, they have not been in a flow at all. And look at that total right there for Boston, already matching their season average in fast break points.
Knicks having difficulty finding a shot. Here's Bill Walker, just checked in, not able to put it down. Walker played a prominent role in the first half the other night when Carmelo Anthony had to leave after the 2 fouls. Rondo puts a move on Walker. Rajon Rondo again. A Boston team that missed its first 7 shots. They're now 8 for 9 thanks to Rondo. Carter lost it. And here comes Rondo. Knicks do get back. Rondo splitting through, but found Garnett. Now Allen passed on a three. And then the pass batted out of bounds by Walker.
Well, Rondo has made 6 field goals, and I'm guessing if you totaled the feet that it took him from the hoop, maybe 6 feet total on 6 shots. I mean, they were basically all layups. And that's almost impossible.
The hand is for Rajon Rondo. Delonte West coming on along with Glenn Big Baby Davis. To spell Jermaine O'Neal, Jared Jeffries has checked in for the Knicks. He played well the other night, although you would not be able to tell from the score sheet. Here's Allen coming off the pick. Rebounded by Anthony.
Yeah, Jeffries was terrific, Marv. As Walker tries to get to the rim and can't finish, but Stoudemire will get fouled on the putback. But Jeffries, you know, you don't really see it until you watch him carefully, but he does so much for this team defensively and offensively. They like to feature him in pick and rolls and dribble handoffs. He's a skilled player, not a scorer at all, but a very productive player.
Jared Jeffries, a second go-around with the Knicks following a brief run with the Houston Rockets. And Stoudemire at the line. Boston is now up by 7 with just under 4 left in the first quarter. Well, he's a mighty 6 foot 4 inches tall. Says here on the card, 6'8" with the hair. Don't miss some slam dunk comedy. Conan is all new weeknights at 11:10 Central, only on TBS.
It's like Fletch. Remember, Fletch was 6'4", but 6'8" with the afro.
Good one out of the archives.
I think Rondo was so tired from all those fast breaks that Doc Rivers had to get him an early rest. So he went to West. I mean, Rondo had run basically 6 fast breaks on his own.
Oh, Garnett with a nice turnaround move, switching hands in midair and then shooting it with the right hand. So Boston back up by 7. West defending on Carter. Pierce facing the spinning Anthony. Rebounded by Davis, took a shot to the chin as Anthony tried to bat the ball away.
Anthony's trying to be more aggressive tonight and get to the paint, but in doing so, he's getting himself a little out of control. And watch here, he takes a smack there, and then Davis staring him down.
Anthony just went over to apologize. You can see Big Baby say it's okay. I believe that's what he said. Don't do it again, but it's okay.
Where the Celtics lead early. I'm David Aldridge. As you heard in the pregame show, Chauncey Billups not playing tonight with a strained left knee. He will undergo an MRI exam in New York tomorrow to determine the extent of the damage to that knee. Billups told me before the game that it actually feels much better now than it did yesterday, but Billups isn't the only point guard who's hurting. Rajon Rondo underwent treatment for most of yesterday after he got banged on his right knee during Game 1. He told me before the game that it's a good thing that the Celtics didn't have back-to-backs because he wasn't sure he would have been able to go yesterday, Mar.
I think Doc Rivers is saying as we see Ray Allen drill that three-pointer, maybe we should get him some treatment before Game 3.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's doing pretty well.
Dana Kristich and Jeff Green have come on for the Celtics. Anthony with the step, count it. It's a goaltend and a foul.
Well, we finally see the explosiveness from Anthony, and you see that time, because the help from the weak side is Delonte West, who's a guard, Anthony can go right over the top of that Celtic defense. Normally, it's Big Baby coming over, who you saw at the end of the replay, but he was a little too late, so Carmelo finally getting to the rim.
Three-point play for Carmelo Anthony. The foul committed by Jeff Green. Boston up by 7 as we approach 2 minutes to play in this first quarter. Davis backs on his former teammate Walker. West with the fadeaway. Rebounded by Anthony.
Well, the Celtic reserves really struggled to score in Game 1, particularly in the first half. They did not have much of an impact. And I think part of the reason is you see Carter rise up and knock down the 20-footer. One of the reasons is Kristich and Jeff Green are accustomed to being starters their entire careers. They've come here, they've had to take on new roles. Neither one of them appears overly comfortable coming off the bench.
Kristich played only 5 minutes the other night, and after joining the Celtics at the trade deadline from the Thunder, he actually started 20 of the 24 games that he played as they double up on Davis. Gets it out to Green. Harder with the rebound.
And you see New York coming with the double team on Davis. I like that because it's a smaller Knick lineup, so they need help down low anyway, but it activates your team when you double team and you have to rotate.
And that hopped over the backboard and out of bounds as Sean Williams attempted the three-pointer.
Here's the double from Jeffries. Then the weak side, everybody's got to be on the move. And if you're New York, you got to pick up the tempo of your own game. You've let Boston really run the ball down your throat, so you've got to be the aggressor, and activating your defense through the double team is one way to accomplish that.
Davis out to set the screen. Good switch by Williams. Shot clock down to 4, down to 3. Here's Allen. Rebounded by Jeffries. Final minute, first quarter. Knicks down by 5. Anthony trying to put a move on Green. Keeps the dribble alive. Walker for 3. Rebounded by Jeffries. Stripped by West, but picked up by Walker. About a 9-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Anthony, it counts, and the foul. He went glass, and he was hacked.
That was spectacular. I'm not sure if he was trying to bank this because his elbow was hit on the way up. I doubt it because that's such a difficult angle for the bank. But you see Big Baby gets his hand on the elbow, and it's only a matter of time before Carmelo Anthony gets rolling. He is just so talented.
8-0 run by the Knicks. Anthony with 9 points. Second foul on Davis. There is Green getting inside. Could not hit the follow. He thought it was fouled. Deflected out by the Knicks. So it'll be Boston ball with 14 seconds left in the quarter.
But you see how tentative Jeff Green was on both of those attempts. You know, when he was playing 35 minutes a night for Oklahoma City, that's an easy shot, but he's just not playing with a lot of confidence since he's come to Boston. This diminished role, it's been very difficult for him to adapt to.
Final seconds of the first. West for 3. He thought he was fouled. Carter kept it alive. Anthony, that would have counted.
Oh, man.
So the Knicks come back after the Celtics were able to jump in front. 8-0 run by the Knicks. 8 for 25 shooting by New York. Boston 10 of 25. It's the Celtics by 2.